डॉक्टर बाबासाहेब आंबेडकर ओपन युनिव्हर्सिटी.
Dear students, I Dr. Shivang Patel, Associate Professor, School of Computer Science, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University, welcome you all from Chaitanya Studio of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University. In the lecture series of operating system subject, we have discussed Linux or Ubuntu operating system and various commands. In block 3 and block 4, we have discussed various commands related with files, related with filters, related with process management, all those commands that are used for different purpose. Now in today's session, we are combining multiple commands and start programming, that is called shell programming, or you can say that the shell scripting. So in subsequent unit and subsequent session, we are going to discuss with different shell script, shell programming with different commands. So we are combining multiple commands into one program, that is considered as shell programming. So in today's session, the agenda for the session is, after completion of this session, you will be able to work in VI editor. You can know the basics of shell programming, or you can say that the shell scripting. You can use command line arguments and different string handling functions. Now it starts with the VI editor. So before we start, if you want to create any program in Linux environment or Unix operating system environment, then that program is considered as shell program, or you can say that the shell script. So this is nothing but you are combining multiple commands together for performing some specific task. Now if you want to create program, you are requiring to write that program into some editor. So there are multiple editors available, but whenever you are installing Linux or Unix operating system, by default VI editor that is inbuilt in those operating system. It is called Visual Editor. Whenever the improved version that can be launched, it was called VI improved, that is VIM. So this is the default editor to write any of the shell script, or you can say that if you want to create shell program, in that case you are requiring this editor. Now whenever you are using this editor, you have to create one file, and that file is called shell program or shell script. Whenever you are creating that file is saved with .sh, .bsh, .ksh or .csh extensions. Why these different types of extensions? Because based on different types of shell, there are multiple extensions are there, multiple syntax that can be available according to different types of shell. As we have discussed in previous session, or at the beginning whenever we have started that Linux programming, two terms we have discussed, kernel and shell. Kernel is nothing but the core or the heart of operating system, the execution task of any command or any program that can be done by the kernel. And what is the task of shell? What is the role of shell? It is nothing but the command interpreter. That means whatever the user want to communicate with the kernel, that can be possible with the interface called shell. So now user can interact with the shell, shell can interact with the kernel will execute the command, whatever the output generated by the kernel, that can be again transferred to the shell, and shell again forward it to the user. So now shell is working as an command interpreter. So different types of system having different types of shell. If you are using some specific shell, the syntax may change. If you are using some different type of shell in different environment, then syntax may be slightly changed. So according to shell, the syntax that you have to follow, right? So in any of the operating system, Linux or Ubuntu, the default editor, that is VI editor, we are in detail seeing that how this VI editor will work. So basically 3 modes are there if you are using that VI editor. First mode is command mode, then after insert mode, and third one is last line mode, or you can say it the escape mode. So whenever you are starting programming, first of all you are opening that editor with the help of command VI, then after program name, then after extension according to your shell. So whenever you are starting that VI editor, you are in the default mode, that is command mode. That mode is basically used to specifically cut some of the portion, or if you want to navigate into the file that you have created, that command mode that can be used. Second is insert mode. If you want to write something, if you want to insert some of the content into that particular file, in that case you have to convert the insert mode. And whenever you want to save the file, if you want to change the permissions for particular files, in that case you have to move into that particular command line or the last line mode, that is nothing but the escape mode. So if you want to switch among all 3 modes, you are requiring to press escape key. Now different shortcuts that are available for different kinds of operations. Say for example I, that is used for changing the insert mode. By default the mode is command mode. If you want to write something, you must require to change the insert mode, so we have to press I. If you want to save something, then you have to write :W. If you want to quit from this programming, in that case you have to write colon and then after Q. Whenever you are pressing colon sign, the mode will be changed from command mode to last line mode, right? So these are the different modes that we are going to discuss in today's session. So we will move practically, so you can get more idea how to create any program with the VI editor. So you can see on the terminal, first of all, how you can see which shell is already there in your operating system. So for that you can use the command echo and dollar, then after shell. So this is nothing but the environment variable. By writing this command, you can able to know which shell is currently available in your system. Currently in our system bash shell is there. There are different types of other shells are also there, Bourne shell, C shell, Corn shell. According to different shell, as we have already discussed, the extension of the file will be changed as well as the syntax that can be slightly changed. Now suppose we are creating one file, so you can write VI and then after the file name. Say for example, I am writing program 1, so prog1.sh. So sh is the extension. According to shell, the extension may be changed. It may be ksh, it may be csh, it may be bash. Right now it is sh that represent the shell, right? So when I am pressing, after writing this command, VI editor will open. Now currently by default it is in the command mode, so you cannot write anything. If you want to write something, you must have to change from command mode to insert mode, right? So this mode is basically to cut some of the portion from the file, or if you want to navigate into the file, say for example move one position back, move one position next, move to up position, move to down position, beginning of the line, end of the line, all sorts operations that can be possible with the command mode. Now we want to write something, in that case you have to press I. So I am pressing I, so escape and I. So now it is in the insert mode. You can see at the bottom, now currently I am in the insert mode. Now you can type anything. So I am writing here, this is a sample shell script. As you already aware, in C programming or C++, if you want to write comment, then you are using // or slash and asterisk. Same way, if you want to write comment in this VI editor in shell programming, you can start with the hash sign. That means that whatever the lines you are writing after this hash sign, compiler, or you can say that the kernel, that cannot execute that file because it will be considering as that particular comment. Now suppose I am writing this echo then after write some statement, welcome to shell programming, then after I am writing enter number 1, then after if you want to read any value, if you want to take any value from the user, then you have to use the read command, and then after the variable. So I am defining that variable n1. Remember one thing, it is not required to declare any variable as in other programming languages. Same way, whenever you are entering some value, accordingly data type will be decided. So it is not mentioned, it is not required to mention here it is integer or character or any other data type, right? So I have just simply created the variable name n1. Then after I am entering another number 2, then the same command I am using and the variable is differ. So now I am taking two different values and that can be stored in n1 and n2. Now suppose I would like to add these two values. So I am taking one more variable that can be used to store the addition of these two numbers. So for that I am using grave accent sign, that is at the tilde sign available on your keyboard. Then after you can use expr, that is used for expression. Now if you want to fetch value of the variable, you are requiring $sign before that variable. So I am using $n1, so it will fetch the value of n1 variable. Then after plus sign, again I am using dollar, then after n2, so it will fetch the n2 value. Then after grave accent is complete. So whatever the sum that can be stored in the variable sum, now I would like to print the value of that sum. So I can use here sum equal to, and then after I would like to print the value, so I can use $sign and then after sum. So sum is another variable. Then after, now this program is ready. I would like to save this code and to quit this code. So in that case I have to first press escape. If I am pressing escape, now it will move to the command mode. Then after I have to write colon and WQ. So you can see at the end, whenever I am pressing escape, your cursor moves to the last line. After pressing WQ, your program is saved. You can see by using ls command, prog1.sh, that is already there. Now if you want to execute that code, you have to write sh according to shell, that may change the command. Then after the program name, so in our case program name is prog1 with extension. So it will ask you for number 1. So I am entering number 1. Then it will ask for second number. I am entering second number. So now it will display the sum, right? So this is the basic script that we have seen in today's session. So different types of shell that we have discussed, accordingly the extension as well as the syntax may differ, right? So this is the very simple shell script that we have seen. Now in subsequent sessions, we are moving with some more commands that can be used with shell programming. So in next subsequent sessions, we are combining more commands and creating a shell script which uses if statement, some loop, some control structures, some more advanced programming that we will see in the next subsequent sessions. Till then, keep practicing. Happy learning. Thank you.